The third and final presidential debate last month, Barack Obama said, you remember that, right? He said he believes that Roe versus Wade was rightly decided. And, well, his victory, it would seem, would now end Republican hopes of a more conservative Supreme Court. But what might an Obama High Court look like? Joining me now is Suzette Malveaux. She is a law professor at the Columbus School of Law at the Catholic University of America. Professor, thank you for your time today. A lot of people think about the court and they say, well, okay, a new Democratic president is coming on board. Does that mean we'll probably see changes to the High Court? Who's most likely, perhaps, even to leave the High Court in the next 4 years?
Certainly, we are in a position where President Barack Obama is in a very powerful position. He could, in fact, replace one or two or even three Supreme Court justices over his 2 terms of office. You can imagine there are a lot of factors that go into these retirements. We think about age, we think about health and personal considerations. But certainly your sort of logical suspects would be Justice Ginsburg, who is 75 years old, and Justice Stevens, who's 88 years old. So he's certainly probably close to retirement. I think the oldest Supreme Court justice to retire was 90. So I think Justice Stevens is pretty close to retirement at this point. Okay, well then how might an appointment or two, perhaps even in the next, say, 4 years, change the tenor of the court? I mean, some people say, well, if you end up with 2 appointments by a President Obama, you would be adding 2 liberals to the court. But if you added, say, a third, you could really change the way it looks, right? Right. I mean, this is an amazing position to be in. Of course, we have a split in the court. We've got 4 what you would call liberal justices. We've got 4 conservative ones. And then we have Justice Kennedy sort of functioning as your swing vote back and forth with those really controversial decisions. If you look at a Ginsburg retiring, if you look at Stevens retiring, then Obama can replace those 2 liberals with probably somebody cut of the same cloth. Now, if you add a third, that's what's really interesting. If you have a conservative that, in fact, retires, like a Scalia, who's in his 70s, or even Kennedy, who's in his 70s, then you may see a real change in the ideology of the court.
One, I know that in your community, people don't like to sort of get into the horse race of it, you know, this person versus this person. But for the folks at home, I'd like to at least share some of the names that we hear bandied about, certainly inside the Beltway and even nationwide, some of the top legal minds around. You think of the dean at Harvard's law school, Elena Kagan, is obviously a huge name. As I run through the list of some of these people, like Cass Sunstein and Sonia Sotomayor, Kathleen Sullivan, who might be more of a long shot, Johnny Rawlinson is certainly a district court judge that has a lot of credibility. When I look at just, for example, that group, is there one thing about them that you can say, well, the reason these people would be strong candidates, it's because of this, or is it maybe because they are so different that maybe they would make interesting nominees?
Right. That's an excellent question, Kevin. I think what's interesting about that list is I think it shows that Obama is looking at a diverse group of people, right? You don't have your normal suspects, which are usually, you've got your appellate court judges. That's a natural feeder to the Supreme Court. But he is, in fact, reaching out, it seems, to those who would have different credentials. So, for example, those coming out of academia, maybe those who work for public interest legal organizations. I think Obama is particularly suited, so uniquely situated to appreciate and identify people with those qualifications because of his own background as a constitutional law scholar and as a community organizer.
Well, this is going to be a very interesting thing to watch, and we'll certainly be watching it very closely here on MSNBC. Professor Malveaux, thank you for your time today.
Thanks, Kevin.
Appreciate it.